Hi Professor, my name is Vikram Sharma. I'm gonna discuss what I grabbed from Week-4. So sociological theories explain crime focused on the group and group action. Sociological criminologists examine group characteristics, example gender, age, culture, and social class rather than individual distinctiveness. So like social criminologist it explain about group characteristics about social class, gender, age, and other things, and like culture. So Emile Durkheim from yeah like he was born in 1858 and died in 1917, is considered the founder of sociology, and his work on crime and deviance continues to impact criminological theories till this day. So Durkheim took a sociological approach to the phenomenon of suicide. In suicide 1897, suicide differences were the result of individuals having weak ties to their communities. Criticism Durkheim did not pay attention to how suicide statistics were collected and interpreted. Park and Burgess University of Chicago scholars provided evidence that levels of crime in Chicago were geographically patterned. Crime was concentrated in Zone 2, or the zone of transition. Zone 2 had affordable housing, attracting those with little money, such as new immigrants and social minorities. Additionally, people who lived in Zone 2 were transit. Criticism applicability of this model to other cities is debatable. The Chicago school, like it comes with a circle, like with a central business district, like the third one was a transitional zone, working class zone, residential zone, and last commuter zone. So like this is the concentric zone model. So Shaw and Amsky argued that crime and juvenile delinquency were not randomly distributed. High delinquency rates were caused by the types of neighborhoods in which youth grow up. Therefore, social disorganization was responsible for crime. Thrasher 1927 argued that gangs emerge in environments where conventional counts on youth are either absent or lacking. Criticisms: crime is now limited to the powerless and disfranchised. Crime may in fact be well organized. Juvenile delinquency is not restricted to the inner city, creates an us versus them dynamic. Partly in response to above criticism, the relatable concept of collective efficacy was developed. It can be considered the opposite of social disorganization and emphasizes the positive abilities a group of people can have regardless of their relative lack of resources and wealth. Robert K. Merton published the article Social Structure and Anom in 1938, informed by Durkheim's ideas in anomy. The way societies are organized can bring strain on individuals that can lead to rule breaking behavior. Strain is caused by discrepancy between culturally defined goals and the institutionalized means available to people to achieve these goals. And the dominant culture goal in many countries is the acquisition of wealth. Hard work and education are what is required to achieve these material goals. A problem arises when the legitimate means for achieving material success are not uniformly distributed. Hard work may not get you there. The result is a strain or a norm. Five modes of adaptation to this strain: conformity, most is it is the most common; innovation, retreatism, ritualism, and a rebellion. Innovator is most often used to explain crime. The innovator believes in the culturally defined goals in society but rejects the legitimate means to achieve these goals. Innovators adapt using the proceeds from crimes, example theft, fraud, and drug dealing, to assess the so-called American dream. Albert Cohan, he was a student of Merton's. He was a Merton's student. Delinquent boy is the culture of the gang. A working class exclusion occurs within the educational system. Working class youth do not fit into the educational system, where they are judged mostly by teachers according to a middle class measuring rod. As a result of being unable to complete, the youth turn to delinquency and delinquent subculture. The delinquent subculture offers an alternative source of status, granting criteria that these youth can meet, rejecting the dominant value system and endorsing the values of the delinquent subculture is described by Cohens as the reaction reaction formation. Criticism of strain theory does not explain why educated and financially successful individuals engage in crime, fa- fails to explain why so females engage in crime. So, control theory views society as a set of institutions that act to control and regulate rule breaking behavior. Traverse Hirschi is the modern originator of control theory called social bond theory. Most people are risk takers, but their bonds to society help them follow the rules law. If social bonds are broken or weak, an individual could become open to their egocentric impulses and engage in crime. Four components of social bond theory: attachment, commitments, involvement, and beliefs. So attachment is the extent to which an individual is emotionally tied to and respect to the opinions of the groups to which they are for which they are members, example parents, immediate family, and close friends. And commitments and investment or stake in confirming behavior, example education and schooling. Involvement, pursuit of conventional activities, example playing sports on a team. Beliefs, a person's loyalty to a dominant value system, example morals. Criticisms of control theory does not explain more serious youth crime or adult crime. Involvement or strong bonds to conventional society does not grant protection from all forms of deviance. Assumes that the four components relate to conforming behavior. And Edwin Sutherland first proposed differential association theory in 1939. Just like any another behavior, criminal behavior is learned behavior. The learning process involves techniques of crime which can be simply and complex. It also learning the motivations and rationalizations for criminal behavior. Those who surround themselves with socializing definitions more favorable to crime are more likely to engage in criminal activity. The exposure to particular definitions, their frequency and intensity, and at what point interaction began are both crucial for explaining criminal activity. Criticism, not all deviant acts are the result of learning. So this was a differential association theory. So labeling theory origins in symbolic interactionalism. Coley, Met, and Tenbaum. Labeling theorists are more interested in explaining how crime and deviance are defined and how these with power react to rule breaking. So two concepts to the Lemmer's theory: primary deviance and secondary. Primary goes with the initial act of deviance, and secondary deviance label is internalized following societal reaction. Labeling theory: those who are labeled as a deviant are likely to take on a deviant identity, which can then lead to further offending. Criticism of labeling theory: This perspective does not consider that illegal activity can take place over a prolonged period of time, even when the pre- perpetrators' actions never come to the attention of the criminal justice system. So, critical criminology, it is a mistake to assume that laws merely reflect socially agreeable norms and values in society. Struggle and conflict between the powerful and less powerful classes. The state and government secures and maintains the interest of the economic elites. The focus of criminology should be directed not only to the rules breakers but also the rule makers. So these were the things which I grabbed from week 3. My name is Vikram Sharma. My student ID is 2326762. Thank you, Professor.